am about to start the biggest war of this century, and I'm not gonna fire a single shot.
You're gonna blow up 8 years of diplomacy.
Well, if you think that got their undies in a wad, you just wait.
What did the president know, and when did he know it?
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wants to rule the world.
Chris Bumbray from JoBlo.com. Pleasure to meet both of you.
Hey, Chris.
Hi,
You were
nice
supposed to go first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you're second.
Oh, wow.
Second's
That's
great.
all right.
We got warmed up with the first.
Yeah, perfect. So Dennis, I gotta ask, I was reading a couple interviews in the lead up to this, and you did mention that at first you were somewhat reluctant to play Ronald Reagan. I gotta ask, what was the reluctance for you? Because you've played a lot of real life characters before, very well, mind you.
Well, Reagan is like Muhammad Ali. Everybody
Yeah.
in the world knows what he looks like, sounds like, and he was also my favorite president. And I didn't want to do a love letter, but I didn't want to do like a Saturday Night Live impersonation of him as well. I wanted to be able to like get down him. I like to play real life people from their point of view. And Reagan, besides being the great communicator, he was very hard nut to crack because he's a very private person. As I delved more into it, sort of became, so it was to kind of feel him out. It wasn't until I was invited like a month later to the Reagan Ranch. And when I drove up there and drove through the gate, I could feel the guy, who he was.
Well, and he built every fence that's there.
Yeah.
His love of horses, and he really was an everyman. They lived very modestly. That was one of the things I found so interesting about them. They're even their first home when they were before they went, to Sacramento and they were governor. Their house was very small in the Palisades, and even later him getting this ranch.
The Reagan Ranch was 1,100 square feet, which is teeny. And they had a king size bed that was 2 twin beds that were zip tied together.
Oh, really? Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was bought by a group of friends after its passing, and they kept everything exactly.
Yeah, clothes in the closet.
You expect them to come back at any second.
It's really wild. You really feel like you're transported into another time.
But it was going there. That's when I said yes, because I felt like I could feel them.
Well, you mentioned something about caricatures, and that brings me to you, Penelope. I really wanted to ask about this because when I've seen Nancy Reagan depicted in TV and movies before, I've always found that it was a very kind of surface level portrayal, right? Like Dennis said, a caricature almost. I found that you guys both really kind of captured the humanity first of the characters, rather than kind of the public persona that we know. Can you talk a little bit about that and tell me what your baseline was? I remember you said you read her memoir was very important to you.
Yeah. Well, I read a lot of books, but her memoir was like my Bible during the filming. I carried it around. I had sticky, notes, and I even incorporated some of the dialogue because it was what she said into the script, which luckily they were very collaborative about because they obviously wanted it to be as authentic as possible. But I really appreciate you saying that about the humanity and the depth and the layers, because I too, like Dennis, didn't want to play a caricature, an impersonation. I wanted to be real. And it's interesting when you're playing a real person, I feel like you owe it to their, without judgment, you owe it to their legacy to honor them correctly. And so it was very important that I play her as a well-rounded human being, flaws and all, but also just to find the humanity. And reading her books and hearing her voice and talking to Sheila Tater, press secretary, and hearing their experience, all of that, to me, I just want to capture an essence. I don't have to look exactly like her or talk if I can capture her essence, that's to me the most important part, to make it real.
Well, she definitely did that because it made it very easy for me. I mean, I did all that work that she was talking about too, like reading and stuff, but all I had to do was just look at her because she was channeling Nancy. I mean,
did you ever meet the Reagans?
It was
surreal. Did you ever meet the Reagans?
I met them when I was a little girl.
Really?
Yes, my parents knew one of their best friends, the Bloomingdales, and they used to be at their parties. We have a picture of my older sister dancing with Ronald Reagan. I probably had no idea. I was like, who are these people? But my mom did a story on Nancy for Time Life magazine, and then she did a fashion spread on Nancy in the 60s, late 60s. So I was very, very little.
It was meant to be.
I don't want to age myself. Did you meet the Reagans?
No, I saw Reagan over in the next fairway at LA Country Club one time. This was after he was president, and I guess he was close to like 90.
Oh,
The
wow.
guy could hit the ball still.
Really?
I
With
mean,
Alzheimer's?
really hit it. He was an athlete.
Well, thank you very much for your time. And Dennis, I saw The Substance this morning, and it was
Oh,
amazing.
no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what a 1-2 punch, huh?
Yeah, man, you're great in it. So
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.